Willie D Live.
What's up, family? It's now been more than a month since Nolan Wells was found dead, and we're being told that his case could finally reach a grand jury within the next 30 days. What the hell is taking so long? That's what I want to know. I need to know that, fam. Think about that. Nolan disappeared on July 4th. His body was recovered July 6th. The state autopsy has been completed for weeks. Authorities have interviewed witnesses. There are photographs, there are videos, there's phone records, GPS information, and other evidence investigators can pursue. And we're still talking about potentially waiting until September before a grand jury gets this case. And we're not just talking about September 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. This could go all the way into the middle of September. Now the district attorney is saying that investigators aren't taking time just for the sake of taking time. She says they're doing the work necessary to conduct a thorough investigation. A thorough investigation. Okay, fine. But at some point, we're being thorough stops answering the question. What exactly are we still waiting for? Because if we're still trying to get answers and you're telling the public the grand jury might hear it within 30 days, that means this case could be approaching 2 months old before grand jurors even begin reviewing it. Fam, do you know how much evidence can get lost in 2 months? Do you know how much evidence can get lost in 2 months? Do you know how memory slips in 2 months? How people just forget stuff? How people go missing? Yeah, sometimes they end up dead. In Mississippi, they turned up dead. In Mississippi, they turn up dead. You dig? And I don't think it's unreasonable to ask, why is this taking so damn long? On July 15th, after Nolan's family met with Jackson County District Attorney Angel Myers McIlrath, Ben Crump announced that the completed investigation would eventually be presented to a grand jury. Then on July 23rd, the DA publicly confirmed that Nolan's death would be before a grand jury soon. He said it'd go before a grand jury real soon. Had us thinking that it was right around the corner, right? Had us thinking that the grand jury was on deck, just waiting. She also announced something extremely important. The official autopsy would remain withheld until that grand jury review. On a personal note, I think that they're holding the autopsy because they're doctoring the autopsy. Yeah, I don't trust nothing about them. That state autopsy has since been completed. And now, according to Mississippi Public Broadcasting, an attorney representing Nolan's family says the grand jury review could happen within approximately 30 days. So we're not criticizing prosecutors for refusing to use a grand jury. They said they're going to use one. The criticism is, why in the hell is it taking so long? I got a simpler question. When? And why isn't there more of an urgency here? And let me make something real clear, family, because I already know somebody is going to deliberately misunderstand what I'm saying. Sending this case to a grand jury does not mean arrest Nolan's friends. Although I think that they should be drilled and grilled, tossed and turned. It doesn't mean indict somebody. It doesn't mean declare this a murder. A grand jury is supposed to review the evidence and determine whether there's probable cause to bring criminal charges. Simple as that. And the grand jury can hear evidence that the public hasn't seen. That's exactly why I want them to see it. Let the evidence go somewhere beyond the same agencies that's been controlling the investigation. Put the witnesses under oath, where appropriate, of course. Present the medical evidence. Present the digital evidence. Present the timeline. Present the boat information. Present the photographs. Present the videos. Present the girlfriend. Yeah, the side pieces. All of that. Put the whole damn case in front of them. If they look at everything and conclude there isn't probable cause for criminal charges, that's one thing. We're not even there yet, fam. We're waiting to get to the people who can make that determination. The autopsy is finished. What the hell is the holdup? See, this is where I have a major problem. The official state autopsy is complete, y'all. That was confirmed at the end of July. Yet, the public hasn't been told the official cause and manner of death because prosecutors say those results will remain withheld until the grand jury reviews the case. Okay, but follow the logic. If you're withholding the autopsy because you're waiting for the grand jury and we're waiting another month for the grand jury, then everybody is trapped inside the same waiting game. The family can't see the official conclusions. The public can't see them. And the grand jurors haven't reviewed them. Meanwhile, everybody keeps waiting. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Wait, 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 wait. At some point, somebody is going to have to explain what the hell we're waiting on. Don't just simply tell us we're waiting. Hell, you waiting for? And here's the crazy part, fam, if you ain't already heard the crazy part, if I haven't already revealed the craziest part. There is evidence that apparently still hasn't been fully resolved. Nolan's cell phone has reportedly not undergone the agreed forensic examination because the family and the DA's office have been disputing the logistics and protocol for how the examination should be conducted. Now think about that. More than a month after Nolan died, we're arguing over how to examine his phone. And why is that? Because the family don't trust the DA. The family don't trust law enforcement, and for good reason. Law enforcement in Mississippi is among the worst of the worst on planet Earth, and they've been good at being the worst for decades, one might say centuries. They don't even try to improve. Mississippi is just crawling with uncivilized mutts. The ones who are the worst are not the regular redneck, backwoods, no teeth, ones who run around screaming out the N-word. They ain't the worst. The worst are the ones who own those private boats and yachts, got a bunch of land, they got stocks, they go to take their kids to the private schools, They got access and options. They play polo, lacrosse. Yeah. They're the worst because they use their privilege, they use their money to circumvent justice all the time. Where was Nolan? Who was he communicating with? That's what we want to know. What was happening before the trip? What data exists from July 4th? We need to know that. Those phone records need to be checked, all of them, not just Nolan's. All of his friends, including Katie, and anybody else who may have come in contact with him that day. Anybody stepping up talking about, yeah, I talked to Nolan that day, and da-da-da, let's see those phone records. Everybody is a suspect. And let me tell you something. If I was his friend and I know I ain't did nothing, I would welcome being a suspect because at least I know they're suspecting everybody. Everybody getting the same treatment. And if I had to get that treatment, if I had to be considered a suspect in order for my buddy to get justice, then make me a damn suspect too. Go ahead and investigate. Knock yourself out. We need to know what was deleted, if anything. What can forensic experts recover? What I'm trying to figure out, fam, is how in the hell are we one more month into a young man losing his life and we still are arguing about how to examine his phone? That's not adding up to me. That's not adding up. And the family's saying one thing and the DA's office is saying another thing. I tend to believe the family because the family don't have a history of lying like the DA's office does. So I trust the family over the DA's office any day. Nobody should be demanding that this investigation is closed until we get all the answers. Put all of the chips on the table, man. Investigate everybody because Nolan should not have to continue to wait for justice. And his family need answers as to what happened to Nolan Wells. No more talk.